Shalom, ladies and gentlemen. Today, as always, we will be talking about our weekly Torah portion. Our weekly Torah portion called VaYera. But as a rabbi with long years of experience in dealing with the Jewish nation, I can tell you, the life hack to make any Jew to do any mitzvah, you just have to tell him that this is Gula leparnosa. Leparnusa, leparnosa, leparnasa, whatever you say, you just tell the another Jew that whatever you're gonna do, this any mitzvah that you fulfill, this will bring you the material wealth. Works like a charm. But the great Jewish philosopher Rabbi Asher Altshul, in his book Sefer Karim, asked a very simple question. We read a lot in our sages' literature in Talmud about spiritual rewards that we receive for the Torah. Schar mitzvah mitzvah, that the reward for the mitzvah is the mitzvah, or schar mitzvah ba'olam Lech-Lecha, there is no physical reward in this world, only in the spiritual world. But he asks a simple question. In the Torah, we don't have any single line, word, no place the Torah talks about spiritual reward. Everything in the Torah is only material reward. And for example, look at the second part of the Shma prayer that I'm sure you're familiar with. It talks about, yes, our relation with God, but it says you will fulfill the mitzvahs, you will receive the reward. Opposite, you don't fulfill the mitzvahs, you will get hit on your head. So why our sages talk about spiritual reward, whereas the parnosa that Shma is talking about? The answer to this is the interesting editing on the first two parts of Shma. The first part of Shma, which is the shorter paragraph, talks about our relation with God, love. Nothing said there about the physical material reward. The second part of Shema, it's almost exactly copies the words of the first part, but in the middle it talks about again material reward, that your field will give the harvest on time and the rain will come on time. But if you don't fulfill the mitzvahs, you will have problems with God. The only slight difference in the wording in the first part and the copy of this in the second part, this is the first part talks in singular, the second part in plural. And from this our sages derive that yes, the reward for the mitzvah, it's only spiritual. But for the social mitzvahs ben adam lechavero, mitzvahs in a human relationship, we receive not the reward but an effect in this material world. And it's very simple. If you did something good to another person, you smiled, you helped, it's unavoidable. You will receive the effect from your good deed in this material world from your friends. And those mitzvahs of the, I would say, social mitzvahs, they define the Jewish people. In our Parsha, we begin to read about Avraham Avinu, not a young guy and not so healthy, immediately after the bris, in a very hot weather, sitting by the door of his entrance to his home and waiting for the guests to come in order to exercise his guest welcoming, which is an extremely important social mitzvah, one of the top-rated social mitzvahs that it says about this, that you receive the benefits of this mitzvah in this material world. Meanwhile, God appears to him and they have a conversation, but it seems that Avram not paying much attention to this conversation, constantly looking outside if the guests are coming. And at the moment that he sees three travelers walking by, he doesn't even say goodbye to God, doesn't depart with him with the nice words. No, he runs, greets the guests, invites them to their home, and serve them a beautiful meal. From this, our sages in Babylonian Talmud, in Masechet Shabbat, they learned that the greeting of the guest welcoming, if it's even bigger mitzvah, more important deed than the welcoming of the Shekhinah, of the godly presence. But there is one slight problem with the guest welcoming and the mitzvah of achnasat orchim. You simply need guests. You can serve a beautiful table, wait for the guests, but if they don't come, you cannot exercise your guest welcoming. This is what Avraham was very much waiting for. So I want to wish to everybody that you will always be able to greet guests in your home and serve them a beautiful meal, spend a great time with them. This will benefit you, us, everybody in this material world. But just not to make it too much of propaganda of this mitzvah, I want to mention in the end that according to Rambam, the main part of the mitzvah of the guest welcoming, it's to welcome the guest outside of your home. Good luck. Thank you very much. I see you next week.
Moment of Wisdom. Sub-brief and life-changing moments. Join us. Subscribe to Moment of Wisdom channels on YouTube, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp.